How to get an old keyboard working again. You might have an old general MIDI keyboard, something from the 90s that, let's say, your grandmother bought you when you were taking piano lessons, and some of the keys mysteriously fell off the piano, and curses got etched into the storied old wood, and it's also burned. But now it won't power on, it won't work on batteries, and you can't hear those terrible approximations of orchestral sounds from yesteryear. Is there a problem with the power supply? A shortened circuit? Or maybe you've used up the sound bank. It's a little known secret that most budget keyboard manufacturers cut corners by limiting the number of uses for each voice and rhythm setting on their machines. Ever try to practice your waltz and find nobody home, but there's plenty of bossa nova to go around? That's because 90s keyboards didn't have the terabytes of space that today's modern space keyboards do. So if your plastic instrument just isn't making any more sounds, all you need to do is load up some new ones. However, most companies don't sell refuel packs for these old beasts anymore, so you're going to have to improvise. You're going to have to DIY. Now, this keyboard was made back before the core standardization of MIDI formats, so you're going to have to do some research. But I already did, because who wants to watch a video of a guy Googling shit? If you do, fuck you, that's insane and boring. Be a better person somehow. For this keyboard, it was made back during the silicon crisis of 1994, so most manufacturers were looking for cheap alternatives. Unbeknownst to most economic drought nerds, however, is that 1994 was also the peak, or perhaps nadir, of Will Smith's "Parents Just Don't Understand" campaign. Parents were always a little behind all the trends. It took them a while. So, where you don't have parents, you do have orphans. And as such, Radio Shack used that surplus of orphan blood to their advantage. We're looking at about a quarter cup, or 13 metric ounces. Now you'll want to find the interface, plug the funnel in, take your orphan blood, and right in there. Now, if you can get it still hot, all the better. If you have to itch the body or whatever, understandable. A quick microwaving will suffice. Back in the day, vacuum tubes in general MIDI keyboards used to keep the blood all warm, but we don't live in the 1960s anymore. Get used to it. Now that you've got your blood installed, I want to give the keyboard a good shake around. Get those interstylus and tubicles all coated up. I mean, you don't want to be in the middle of a performance and have your notes get all sluggish now, do you? Keep those interstylus lubed up with plenty of orphan blood. And you're ready to rock. Make sure your orphan had a good singing voice, unless you're into grind metal or slugcore. And should be good to go. Keep checking back for more indiy life hacks or tips. And more ways to make your musical life better while denying life to the less fortunate.